Why do people vote for confirmed liars? This is not some hypothetical mind game, but a pertinent question that tugs at the fabric of our political systems worldwide. To fully comprehend, we need to delve into the vast field of psychology. This is not merely a matter of political intrigue, but a profound inquiry into the human psyche. Are these voters corrupt, or is there more to this story? Let's unravel this complex tapestry thread by thread, starting with the allure of dishonest politicians. Dishonest politicians often have a certain allure. They're like the siren's call in an ocean of political discourse, luring voters towards them with their charisma and confidence. These traits often overshadow their lack of honesty or ethical conduct. It's a curious phenomenon, isn't it? How can an individual who is known to be dishonest capture the hearts and minds of so many? The answer lies in the power of personality. A charismatic leader, even one who is dishonest, can inspire trust and loyalty. They can paint a vision of the future that is so compelling, so enticing, that voters are drawn to them like moths to a flame. In the world of politics, confidence often trumps competence. A confident leader, one who speaks with conviction and certainty, can make even the most outrageous claims seem plausible. They exude an aura of authority, of knowing exactly what they're doing, and that can be incredibly appealing to voters. It's a form of cognitive bias known as the halo effect, where we attribute positive traits to an individual based on our perception of their confidence and charisma. And then there's the concept of confidence over competence in leadership selection. Voters often prefer a leader who displays confidence, even if their track record suggests they might not be the most competent. It's a fascinating aspect of human psychology, how we value perceived strength and certainty over proven ability. But what happens when this confidence is used to mask dishonesty? When charisma becomes a tool to manipulate and deceive? Well, that's where things get tricky. Because even when voters are aware of a politician's dishonesty, they may still find themselves drawn to them. It's a paradox, a contradiction that lies at the heart of political psychology, and so we arrive at a sobering realization. Voters are often drawn to the showmanship even when they know it's a facade. They are captivated by the spectacle, by the charisma, by the confidence, and in the process they may overlook the dishonesty that lurks beneath the surface. It's a testament to the power of personality in politics, and a sobering reminder of the complexities of human nature. Our brains play tricks on us, leading us to make irrational choices. It's a fact that's hard to swallow, but it's one that's vital to understanding why people might vote for politicians who are known liars. Cognitive biases, these little quirks of our thinking, can often lead us astray, even when we're trying to make important decisions like who to vote for. Let's start with a bias you're likely familiar with: confirmation bias. This is our tendency to search for, interpret, and remember information in a way that confirms our pre-existing beliefs or values. So if a voter already likes a particular politician, they're more likely to overlook or dismiss evidence of that politician's dishonesty. Instead, they'll focus on the information that supports their positive view of the politician. Then there's the halo effect, a bias where our impression of a person in one area influences our impression of them in another. For example, if a politician is charismatic and charming, voters may perceive them as more honest, competent, or trustworthy, even if there's clear evidence to the contrary. The politician's charisma casts a halo that makes everything else about them seem better. These biases are not signs of stupidity or corruption on the part of the voters. Rather, they're part of being human. Our brains are wired to simplify the world, to take mental shortcuts. These biases are just examples of those shortcuts. They help us make sense of a complex world, but they can also lead us to make irrational decisions, like voting for a dishonest politician because we agree with their stance on certain issues. This is not to say, however, that we're all doomed to be swayed by our biases. By being aware of these cognitive biases, we can take steps to counteract them, to make more rational and informed decisions. Our brains, in a bid to simplify the world, can sometimes lead us down a path of irrationality. But remember, understanding that path is the first step towards choosing a different one. Scene script. Fear is a powerful motivator, and dishonest politicians know this. Have you ever felt your heart pounding, your palms sweating, your mind racing? That's fear. It's an evolutionary response to threat, hardwired into our brains to keep us alive. Now imagine that feeling used as a tool to manipulate your decisions. This is a tactic often deployed by dishonest politicians. They use fear, not facts, to sway voters. It's called fear-mongering, and it's as insidious as it sounds. Fear-mongering is a strategy that preys on our deepest anxieties. These politicians paint a picture of impending doom, then position themselves as the only solution. They might stoke fears about economic collapse, national security threats, or societal change. The specifics can vary, but the underlying message is always the same. Be afraid, and vote for me. This strategy works because fear has a profound impact on our brains. When we're afraid, our amygdala, the brain's fear center, kicks into overdrive. This can override the rational, decision-making part of our brain, the prefrontal cortex. In other words, fear can literally make us less rational. It can cause us to make decisions based on emotion, not evidence. Furthermore, fear can make us more susceptible to misinformation. Studies show that when we're scared, we're more likely to believe false information that aligns with our fears. This is why fear-mongering politicians often spread fake news. It's not just to deceive us, it's to keep us scared and therefore malleable. But perhaps the most dangerous thing about fear is its ability to make us feel powerless. When we're afraid, we often feel like we have no control over our situation. This can make us desperate for someone, anyone, to take control. And this is where dishonest politicians step in. They promise to protect us, to fight for us, to take control. They offer us a sense of security in a world that feels increasingly insecure. In the face of fear, people often choose perceived strength, even if it's dishonest. Because sometimes the power of fear is so strong, it blinds us to the truth. No one wants to feel left out, and politics is no exception. Our journey into understanding why people vote for confirmed liars takes us to the concept of groupthink. Groupthink, a term coined by social psychologist Irving Janis in the 1970s, highlights the power of conformity in groups. It's a psychological phenomenon where the desire for harmony and conformity in a group can lead to irrational and dysfunctional decision-making outcomes. In a political context, groupthink can be a powerful force. The desire to fit in, to be part of a collective, can often lead individuals to vote along party lines, even when they're aware of a politician's dishonesty. It's a fascinating yet concerning aspect of human nature. You see, when we're part of a group, we often feel a strong pressure to conform to its norms and values. This desire to belong can be so strong that it can sometimes lead us to ignore facts, overlook inconsistencies, and even turn a blind eye to blatant lies. We fear the social consequences of going against the group, and this fear can drive us to make decisions that we might not necessarily agree with on an individual level. In politics, this can translate into voting for a candidate not because we believe in their policies or trust their integrity, but simply because they represent our chosen group or party. We end up prioritizing our group identity over our personal convictions. The line between what the group believes and what we believe as individuals becomes blurred. This is not to say that everyone who votes for a dishonest politician is a victim of groupthink. It's a complex issue with multiple influencing factors. But understanding the impact of groupthink can give us valuable insights into why some people might choose to support politicians who are known to be dishonest. So the next time you find yourself questioning why someone would vote for a confirmed liar, remember the power of groupthink. The desire to belong can sometimes overshadow the desire for honesty. So why do people vote for confirmed liars? We've journeyed through this complex question, exploring the allure of dishonest politicians, the role of cognitive biases, the power of fear, and the impact of groupthink. Dishonest politicians often exude charisma and confidence, qualities that can appear attractive to voters. They have a knack for telling us what we want to hear, offering simple solutions to complex problems, and promising to fulfill our deepest desires. This allure, coupled with cognitive biases, can often lead us astray. We've discussed cognitive biases, those shortcuts our minds take when processing information. These biases can cause us to overlook a politician's dishonesty if they align with our pre-existing beliefs or confirm our biases. We've talked about fear, a powerful motivator that can overshadow rational judgment. When politicians stoke our fears, they can manipulate us into voting for them, even if they are confirmed liars. And we've examined groupthink, the tendency to conform to the majority opinion in a group, which can lead us to support dishonest politicians if everyone else seems to be doing so. Understanding these factors is crucial if we wish to make more rational political decisions. We must be aware of the allure of dishonest politicians, recognize our cognitive biases, resist the power of fear, and challenge groupthink. Understanding our own psychology is the first step to breaking free from the allure of dishonest politicians.